A reminder this morning to take things slow. Take a look at your screen. We got this new video in within the last few hours of a semi-truck losing control and crashing into a squad car. Yikes. This happened at 694 and 35E in Little Canada. It's unclear if anyone was hurt.
Now, thankfully, things appear to be drying out as you wake up after last night's April snow.
I know. Jennifer is tracking your commute, but first we got to say good morning to Guy Brown and get that Monday forecast. Hey, Guy.
Hey, good morning. I'm already seeing the clouds clear up here in the KARE 11 backyard, so at least sunshine on the way. But if you're looking for warm temperatures like last week, I'm sorry, no luck. Temperatures this week are going to run right above or below average throughout the week, and temperatures this morning wasting no time, right at the freezing mark, feeling like 20 on the skin, now at mostly clear skies. Temperatures in the low to mid 30s and climbing to the low 40s by early afternoon. A lot of sunshine in the forecast. By 5 o'clock, temperatures at 48. Looks like the data is trying to get a little excited on you from last week. Upper 40s, that's it for your afternoon high. 48, that's below average. Our average high should be in the mid to upper 50s, so we'll be about 10 degrees below that. Coming up in my 7-day forecast, I'll let you know when rain and snow moves back into the forecast here in just a bit. Jen?
Thank you, Guy. We've got a traffic alert to tell you about right now coming out of Inver Grove Heights. This one just popped up on my radar a few minutes ago. It is 52 southbound at Concord Boulevard. MnDOT is reporting this is actually 3 crashes blocking the left-hand lane there. A little hard to make out exactly what's going on. It does appear to be slowing traffic, though, on 52 southbound. So we're going to keep our eye on that, dig into it a little bit more, Alicia, and we'll have more details coming up.
All right, Jen, we'll check back soon. Thank you. Now to our top story. In just 2 hours, a procession starts for Pope County Deputy Josh Owen.
Owen was shot and killed on Saturday while responding to a domestic abuse call in Cyrus, Minnesota. This morning, Deputy Owen's body is in Ramsey at the Midwest Medical Examiner's office. He was escorted there over the weekend by dozens of law enforcement officers. That's where we find Cece this morning before the procession starts. Cece, good morning.
Hi, good morning. So the procession will start here at the medical examiner's office in Ramsey. That'll be at 8 o'clock this morning. And then the route will go from Ramsey to Sauk Center. And then once there, Pope County deputies will escort the body the rest of the way to Glenwood. Now, the procession comes after just a horrifying weekend for the Pope County community. According to the BCA, officers were called to an apartment in Cyrus Saturday night. They were trying to arrest a man for domestic assault. And when the man was confronted by officers inside that apartment, he pulled a gun and started firing. The man officers were trying to arrest died at the scene. One officer was injured but not hospitalized. Another deputy had his injuries treated at the hospital but was released. Meanwhile, Deputy Owen was rushed to a nearby hospital but later died.
Deputy Owen had a heart as big as his stature. He leaves behind a wife and a son. He loved his family, his brotherhood, and his community.
Now, during the procession, law enforcement will pay tribute to Owen on overpasses along I-94. Now, coming up in about 30 minutes, we're actually going to be hearing from one of Owen's friends just moments after he learned about his passing. Jason, Alicia.
All right, Cece, thanks for that update.
In 2023, at least 7 Minnesota law enforcement officers have been shot so far. Earlier this month, a Wilmar police officer was injured in Granite Falls while serving a felony warrant. In January, a White Bear Lake officer was shot while trying to arrest a suspect who had an outstanding felony domestic assault warrant. Also in January, 2 McLeod County deputies were shot in their protective gear while serving a warrant. And as another deputy dies in the line of duty, 2 Wisconsin police officers killed just 1 week before Deputy Owen were laid to rest over the weekend. Barron County Sheriff's Department posted this about 20 hours ago. It says, before we can even get out any thanks for all the people that helped, attended, and supported us this week, we must turn those thanks to more prayers for a law enforcement officer killed. Many of those departments changed course on their way home from supporting law enforcement to help with an incident in Minnesota.
In a matter of hours, we're expecting a ruling on former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin's appeal of his state conviction. His attorney argues the 2021 trial in Hennepin County for the murder of George Floyd was not fair. They argue extreme security measures impacted the jury. The state's attorney says the judge used great care in handling this case.
Developing this morning, we're learning more about a mass shooting in Alabama. This all happened at a dance studio filled with teenagers. 4 people died and 28 others were hurt. NBC's Priscilla Thompson has all the details.
Well, the dance studio behind me was filled with teenagers Saturday night celebrating a Sweet 16 birthday party when officials say that gunfire erupted. 4 people were killed and 28 people were injured as a result of that violence, and police unable to answer any questions about motive or how all of this unfolded, nor have they been able to say whether they have identified and arrested a suspect. Instead, they are saying that the investigation remains ongoing, and they are urging members of the public with any information to come forward, saying that no tip is too small. Meanwhile, this community held a prayer vigil to honor the lives of the 4 people who died and to pray for those who are recovering and those who are grieving, as so many are in this community. Priscilla Thompson, NBC News, Dadeville, Alabama.
In just a few hours, Governor Walz is signing a bill in preparation of a potential weather emergency. The bill would provide funding for the state's disaster assistance response. It comes ahead of the potential massive flooding as water levels are rising across the state. In Delano, a flood wall will be going up in the next few hours here as the water rises on the South Fork Crow River. At this hour, the Bridge Avenue River Bridge is closed and barricades have been put up on both sides. Right now, the river is at 17.5 feet, and it is expected to crest this Wednesday at 20 feet.
This past week with the river, we've been monitoring river levels. We have closed floodgates that we have some gates that go into the river, so we make sure those are closed so that the river water doesn't back up into them.
The bridge and portions of 90th Street will remain closed. The city is asking drivers to make sure they plan alternate routes and avoid areas where city crews and flood protection equipment are deployed.
This week, programs at Temple Israel are back on schedule after being canceled yesterday when an anti-Semitic graffiti naming the synagogue was found by police. That's according to a letter from the synagogue's leadership. They say Metro Transit Police found the graffiti at a bus stop in Lynn Lake and decided to cancel in-person programs yesterday just to be safe. Right now, police are investigating that incident. Happening in just over 7 hours, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey will sign a new noise ordinance into law. This will allow the Muslim calls to prayer to be broadcast 5 times a day. Now, previously, it was only allowed 3 times a day. This new law will make Minneapolis the first major city in the country to do this.
If you're going to Minneapolis today, grab your phone right now and download the new parking app. You got to look for an icon with the words Minneapolis Parking and 2 blue circles inside of a larger circle where you purchase your apps. The new app works the same as the old one. You just have to type in your space number and how long you're going to park there for. You'll also have to create a new password and re-enter your payment information.
I did it this morning and took a few seconds, but yeah, good to go now.
Good for the summer.
Yes.
Here we go.